Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, May 19, 2021, Wednesday, bringing back to you issue of field engineering and impacts by COVID-19 on field engineering issues, designs, construction methods, contracts, annex organizations, communications, coordinations, quality, and quality. Maybe you're surprised I'm saying like this quality, because it is very interesting and it is important. Quality everywhere in life. You may accept, you may not accept, but that's fact. That's fact and fact. We spend years together on education, on certifications, on profession. We spend together since our birth or since our infancy to our adolescent, and then even for further age, all times for certifications. We spend time for certification obtaining. We spend 20 years, 15 years, a lot of time to get our values, our status in society. But what does it mean? That status, we assume ourselves, and some certificates tell everyone like notifications, because these certifications are notifications and nothing else. If we have certain certification, it claims that we are responsible, we are professional, we are competent, and we are consistent. Our capability can be relied upon. That's what the certificates say. Okay, that's fine. But when you really measure performance in world, particularly in our country, Bharat, India, we rarely find compliance to what is expected of. What should be done, what should not be done. Nobody questions. No one. Question should be made. That's meaning of profession. Every professional expects questions from clients, from people, because if you don't question, it is assumed that there is nothing that can be questioned, that can be interrogated, or that can be scrutinized. Quality approach is very important, though it's not well defined. It's constructively defined, strictly defined. There is bound within which we have to work. If my client doesn't expect quality of my performance, I mean it's not my personal performance, but that performance which involves work. Whatever work I do, it may be production, it may be service, it may be something else. Whatever it is, that must conform to certain criteria defined somewhere. And that's what I generally call quality required everywhere. Quality required everywhere. Nobody would deny this fact. Quality is required everywhere. But question is it? 3 times I said. It can be many times. Just to impress something, just to attract your attention towards this, I put plus sign also. It's not only that you have to question many times, it's also required that you demand it. Every quality means it is involved everywhere. It doesn't mean it is involved on some product, system, individual, product, attitude, dedication or devotion, and all other parameters, which means knowledge areas. All those must be counted as demanders for quality. Quality has its own system, And systems must have quality, products must have quality, and products must tell you what else you can achieve. It's like operation. You do some operation. Operation means not only surgical operation but work operation or activity, and that activity to tell its sound properties to you. And you understand them, we call operational research, and then define it as quality of performance. So systems, social system, cultural system, professional system, universe system, machine system, computer system, or you may say your own system, body system. Every system is well defined, and we know that. Universe is well defined, solar system is well defined, earth is well defined within certain limits. I am not saying well defined means exclamatory or it's totally defined, but something known is better than nothing known. We talk of earth, we talk of sun, we talk of solar system, we talk of universe, we talk of body, we talk of everything. Nowadays, COVID is jumping everywhere. We talk of COVID also. It's also a kind of system. We can't say no. It's also a kind of system, you can say. So powerful system that we have to understand it first. We have to know what it is. We talk of, because I am talking of professional engineering, and COVID-19 has become a part of life. Whether we have been able to defeat it or we have not been successful to defeat it, that's a different issue. It's part of life. You cannot say you can avoid it. It's so powerful that has integrated itself with ourselves all over the world. We may say whatever, but that's a fact that world is in grip of COVID-19, and we too. And its impact on life, its impact on profession, its impact of working, all these we have to analyze. That's also a very important part, and means we have to establish something in quality terms. When I say we work on structures, we work on structural design, we work on other designs, whatever type of work we do, it is based on some design. Your shoe we wear, it's also based on designs. Our clothes, whatever we wear, are based on some, of course not that level design, but articulate design. You see, how do you view this world? It's your own way. But how world views you, that is different way. I am living in certain body, biological body. How much work God must have done behind this at time of initiation, at time of commencement of body. We can imagine that. This body, every time I say, is a plant, live plant. Until it lives, until soul lives in our body, it works. Everybody breathes, and we breathe until our soul leaves this body. Since you are born to time, since you are born till time we leave this world, I leave this world or you leave this world, that duration is called living life. After that it's called dead body. It's same thing. Means this defines a system. God has devised a system that this body or casing or plant that I am giving to you to use, that is system. It has systems like mind, brain system, heart system, liver system, kidney system, lung system, and legs, arms, eyes, etc., etc. You can think yourself, you can list yourself. This system isn't easy. This system isn't that easy as we think. Actually, we never think about this, because you think it's natural. Yes, it's natural, it's God built, but it's for you, for me. Since I was born, I have been enjoying this machine which runs on my breathing and some food we take. This means there is a complete system, and it is healthy system. It's up to us what health we consider for this? Health, that is a part of HSE, which we define as health, safety, environment. HSE and engineering, of course, with complete energy formula support, or how can we use our cells, our earned, our contained energy to do some work. That is big deliberation. We have to understand that point. We cannot live in fake world. Actually, physical world is not fake world. It's also true that everybody is living in this body, even animals, they are living in this body. This means there is a system. We are supported by natural agencies, air, sun, skies, water, soil, either. We are supported by these agencies to survive. And there is nothing we don't get from nature, directly or indirectly. We get from nature, but it is our foolishness that we do not recognize it all time. We rarely think about that. Seldom we think. Always think of mundane world. We think of materialism. You talk to someone, will say, I don't have this, I don't have this material, I don't have this. Whatever we have, we don't value it. That's the problem. If we have body, if we have natural sources, if we have all agencies supporting us, we don't think for them. We think on for what we don't have as an individual or as a group. Oh, I must have that much money. Always my destiny is that I should get this much money. I should be richest in world. Or I should be top scientist. Or I should be top doctor. Okay, that is profession. The point is, whatever we have in hands, we don't care about that. We had in hands pure air, pure water. Everything was pure. But we could not handle it because of our inefficiency. And this is really a point of worry. Why we could not do that? A point of big worry. And that's what I have to see. Let me put on light. So point of my worry is very, very different. Don't think that I talk because I want to talk. No, that's not my case. I talk because I have to explain, and that explanation is based on contemplation, it's based on analytical understanding, and in fact, it's very important. System must be complete, it must be well defined, it must be well analyzed, it must be well proven. That's called system. We are working on computers. We say there's a system. Yes, it is system, of course. System is defined. This means there's a complete process which works in that system. Computer, there are so many points that relate to computer. You can say I'm not computer engineer, but machine language, system of computer, its integrity, its complete solid state, solid chips, or you can say SIM, and software, hardware, all those make system. If computer performs well, I feel happy, okay, my computer is performing well. But when it hangs or it doesn't give that speed, I feel very upset, because there is a limitation on my system. I have to work within that. But I feel upset because I want more. Yes, that's my hunger. I have to quench that thirst, which I want more. I have to quench my hunger. It depends from person to person and product which I have bought and what I am using. And my attitude, I want fastest speed, better use, but I don't get that big computer. I want to augment my parameters, but I don't work for that. You see, if we measure work in terms of earning money, this means we are businessmen, we are business people only, not researcher. A business person always thinks how to make money from available money, how to just have more luxuries, how to have more status, and called, competition is always with money. While competition should be with system. If I am a human being, I have solved, though it's not mandated, it's not proven, but it is true, it is there in some forms because nature is there. Nobody can deny nature. It's seen, it's availed, and it works. Nature. We can't see soul, SOUL or spirit. We can't see that, but we use it, we feel it. Nobody knows what is sleeping. Nobody knows where you go in your dreams. We don't know, but we go. And when our eyes open, we say, where it was. But it works, system works. So this means this system is perfect. You may sleep, you may not sleep, your brain works. You sleep, you may not sleep, or you think or you don't think, your heart works, your liver works, your body works. Fully it works without taking permission from you. That's also important. Since I was born and time I pass, and when I reach my destiny of leaving this world, that station, when my destiny comes, I have to live. This period is not for money alone. It's for doing something for achievement. And whatever I do in my life, I should make clear conception that my objective is money, or my objective is to go to that place which I do not know now, but I knew sometime and I came. This is a complete system of your mental application. Myself as an individual have to improve first myself. I have to improve myself. If I can improve myself, then I have to think for others, because I can understand what is improvement. I can understand what are my efforts towards that. If I can improve myself, means I improve my system. I improve my changing, I improve my thinking habit. If I think about progress, if I think about learning, if I think about doing something good for everyone, or also think about negative values, that I have to learn mathematics. If I have to learn mathematics, I have to know what is negative as well, in addition to positive, and also multiplication and division and under root and square root, all that. Integral calculus and differential calculus, trigonometry and algebra, mensuration and arithmetic. I have to know all subjects. Only then I can say, yes, I know mathematics. This is very easy. We respect mathematics, but we don't respect science. That's not possible. If I love positive I love, I don't love negative. Why don't I love mathematics? Then I cannot learn mathematics. That is my restriction. Because negative value is also equally important as positive value. Means what is negative? Something I can't dream, I can't see, but that exists. That's negative value. That works. That is value. If I say it's 100, you are happy. Oh, it's 100. It's my value. But I say no, it's minus 50. You will fed up. So why are you saying a minus 50? I don't have value. But that's your calculation. You don't understand this. Minus 50 or minus 100, both are same. Minus 100 and plus 100, both are same. This you can see with your eyes, that you cannot see. That's the only difference. It is different in your vision. There is no difference in numbers. It's okay. Both are valued. If both are not valued, you can't exist. You understand? If negative is not valued, there can be no world at all. There can be no existence at all. Because negative is negative and positive is positive. Positive which we see, and negative we cannot see, we can imagine. We can contemplate. And that contemplation has to turn to positive. to be called mundane position, mundane world, material world. So this is also system, calculation system. People say, oh, don't talk negative. I am surprised. Why not to talk negative? This is a part of quality. If I talk of positive, okay, that's my quality, but negative is also my quality. I can't say no until I consider negative. And this is what I am saying, analysis. This is what I say. Designs. What are designs? Design is based on negativism. You may assume, you may laugh, but that's a fact. And negative doesn't mean no. Negative means considering which is unknown. Consideration of facts that are not seen by our eyes, but our brain can see them, our soul can see them. That is negative. Negative means which is behind physical world, which is in power. Physical world is never in power. Physical world is limited in power. But negative world, which we call negative or minus, that is optimum, that is, you can say, absolute in power, which operates our positive world. Try to this way, understand this way, and that's called attitude of a person. I ask people, tell me some means without negative can you survive? If there is no electron, can you survive? Just think of. Because without electron, without proton, without neutron, elements can't survive. If you want to talk of elements, whatever element you talk of, gold or diamond or proton, whatever, you have certain atomic structure, and that atomic structure is based on negative values, positive values and neutral values. All these values are there. This means these values survive materially. These survive materially, and that's the important part. That's very important part we have to consider. That's important part we have to consider. Survival of this survival fittest. We say survival of fittest. But what fittest? Survival of actual requirement. So we say when we design structures, we consider something in mind, right? We consider something in mind. When we study engineering, civil engineering, design engineering, theory of structure, they say, okay, there is a beam. Imagine there is a beam. We don't see beam, but we say, okay, there is a beam, there is a column, there is a framing. We imagine that, oh, this is deflection. This is force on this beam, uniformly distributed load or point load. And you see on this, there's shear, there's reaction, there's bending moment. We all talk like that. Okay, that's excellent. But we derive formula based on our calculations. Based on our formula, we further, go into that. We consider many values which you can't even see. Younger modulus you have to consider. Stress and strain, you can say kilogram per centimeter square or Newton per millimeter square, which you can't see. But we do that. That's what we say. Assumptions and assumptions and contemplation of that. But ultimately, we achieve results. We design. Based on that, we design. Whatever we design, that is very much practical. That's very much, you can say, a kind of system. Every member has system. Beam, column, they have their own systems. Framing, their own system. How slab works, how beam works, how material works, what stresses, what resistivity values we take, what stresses we take, what is moments we take, and how we equate it to something, and we calculate. What is that? That is some system. Of course we made it, but we made only after understanding of properties of material. So it's completely derived, you can say. The system, if we adopt, it must be complete and final, and that's what is required. And as much as performable it is, that's called quality inculcated into that material or into that system, and it depends upon individual to individual and all individuals. But when we are bound by certain educational standards, we are bound to the codes, we are bound certain derived from certain recognized values, recognized formula, then we are bound by that and we have to follow that. That's what profession is. So quality means we have to input quality, we have to establish quality, we have to, you can say, transfer quality into element, into attitude. We can change our attitude, that must be agreed upon. It's complete quality talk. If my attitude I change, my thinking I change, I think my personality is changed. When I was not, I had no value, I had no educational standard, and now which I have, there's a lot of difference. If I compare, if I remember what I was in my infancy age and what I am after, I can say lot of learning. There's complete change. Thoughts have changed, process of thinking has changed, my mental capacity has changed, and my overall system has changed, health has changed because of that. As much as you study, you calculate, you try something, you use your mental position, mental status, mental power, and that mental power goes on increasing. I don't understand how. Sometimes you have studied a lot and you are thinking and thinking and thinking, and you can think many hours a day, and you think your energy is enhanced every day, is augmented, levels are augmented, and sometimes you don't find sleep because of that, because your thinking capacity is so high. When you are in bed, you keep thinking, and that's what I say, dedication. Without that, you can't. Your thinking doesn't wait for time. It doesn't think for night and day. It goes on thinking. Your brain goes on working. After some time, you sleep, but your brain still works. Like that, I can say system quality, individual quality, element quality, material quality, attitude quality, personality quality, dedication, devotion, other parameters whatsoever they are, cost, time, or you may say cost, time, quality, quantity, or supporting systems, and whatever you can say, change for sake of change. All these constitute quality. Quality doesn't mean just controls. Quality means making controls. Quality means creating controls. When I say quality control, it doesn't mean everything's final. You can add more and more. You can find more and more requirement of tests. You can find more and more theories. You can find more and more whatever, and you can experiment. You can find empirical values. That's all very important. This is not question of designs. It's question of everywhere. It's everywhere. And all stages designs we talk of, all stages design, you can say all stages means everything. When I say all stages design, this means something, because design also is limited. It doesn't suffice absolutely. Construction and development sometimes not to mark. So it is partly done, because it's not spare part, or it's not one such part where only one individual is involved. It's group of individuals that are involved in working. Design can be done by one person, but work cannot be done by one person for that design achievement into shape, practical shape, physical shape. Design is a powerful process, very, very powerful process, where mind applies, your brain capacity applies, and your experience applies, contemplation applies, thoughts apply, innovative brain, innovative process simultaneously with ordinary process, both apply. When you apply, you think. You don't think only for design, you think also for how it shall be done, how shall be implemented, what shall be problems which I can see now. Yes, if you are very well a standard designer of structures or otherwise, when you design something, all processes must come to your mind if you are a real designer. Just we call in our world constructability or buildability, that is very, very important. Just design is not enough. I just try to suggest always that design which cannot be done constructability, done with comfortably, it cannot be implemented easily, or which requires additional resources, that design is useless. Design should be simple, It should be worth. It should be easily understood. It should not be complicated in detailing, and it should not cost more. If you complicate it, for sure you will increase cost money wise, you will increase cost time wise, and you will reduce quality of that work despite your efforts. So when I say quality of design means, when you consider design, it should be quality design. And what does it mean? It doesn't mean quality of work. It is quality of your own design. First of all, your thoughts, your application in mind that comes onto design drawing type shape on your papers. Okay, that should be clear to you first. It's not clear to you, you cannot explain to others. And that should be so much comprehensive that it should be respected, it should be appreciated by that individual who would work on this. And that's very important part. In our world we call construction capacity. If your design is so easy, it can be easily worked but gives results very high profile degree. In that case, I say design is welcome. If design complicates my working, I am not happy with that. I don't feel happy with that design. However, time was spent on that. Therefore, I say designer must have quality, and that quality is comprehension. I'm not interested in formula all time. I'm not interested in what codes say. But above code is your mind. Above code is contemplation, which you know very well. Best quality work is that which can comply with all requirements and easiest of construction. Easiest of construction always very difficult. Just like we say easy design, simple design, you say you do design in simplest way. And that's sometimes very, very difficult in process. Very difficult in process. Just like we generally say, oh, this is a plan, the architectural plan, or this is that, you design it. Architect thinks its own way, but structural thinking is different. Because we are based on dimensions, we are based on loads, actions, and we have to see that we are well balanced. Just like body is well balanced. Suppose my body is not well balanced, can I walk? One half of my portion has more weight and half other portion has less weight. Then can I find comfort? If half of my body has one blood pressure, half of my body has another blood pressure, or oxygen levels are different in both, or 1/4 of my body, there are 4 parts in my body and they have different medical parameters. You think I can live? Or if I live, I can live with that comfort? Somebody said, no, he is paralyzed. His one eye is not working. His one eye. So can you say that you are living? Same thing applies to structural designs. Engineers know it very well. I'm talking in general. But that can be done throughout process of designing. It's not simply that we do once. We have to see that in common way, when we design something, we have to consider all actions, all loads, apply uniformly and as far as possible without having any eccentricity. That is what is our body. When we walk uniformly, means our body is well centered, it's well in equilibrium. It may be dynamic equilibrium, static equilibrium, or it may be whatever kind. We are well balanced, we are in equilibrium position, and in that case a person feels happy without any stress. We are so weak sometimes that we say, oh, my mind is well strained, well stressed. I don't understand that. What is stress there? Mind is born for stress. Mind is equipment that's meant for stress. And if you can't digest that stress, there's something wrong. Your body is also meant for stress. That is basic function. If you don't stress your body, if you don't strain your body, it doesn't work It doesn't work perfectly. This means if you sleep all time, you take rest all time, you can't stay well, you can't be healthy. And similarly, if you overwork, you can't be healthy. So there is well-balanced system. Same system, dynamic system, you can say firing system, struggling. I want to see structures. Structures are very simple, it's very well dynamic, very well serviceable, but sometimes very complicated also, because these are materials. We think whatever we think for them, not necessarily they perform that way. Just like our body is hystericized after some time. You say, oh, I'm 50 years, I'm 60 years, I'm 45 years, I'm 100 years, I'm 80 years. My body is changing. Yes, it changes because of property of hysteresis. Same thing material does. Hysteresis. We don't know much about that. We only keep limits and that's it. Today what we do, not necessarily after 50 years, that would be the same way. I talk to many people. Don't disturb concrete. I give examples to them. They don't understand. Oh no, I want to add dowels. I want to extend this concrete. Though it may be 20 years old, it may be 40 years, they want to extend it. I said, no, don't extend this. You don't disturb this structure. You don't understand the structures. Don't accept what contractor says. Ask some engineer, but they don't understand. They mind it. It happens. Because they are interested in covered area. They are interested in economical construction. They are not interested in durable construction. Though they want durable, but they don't understand durability. That's what I say. Durability is also a part of quality, though it's quantity, but it is ultimately linked to quality. If your building has no quality, if your structure has no quality, it can never be durable. If it's unbalanced, its life will reduce. If it's not having as was intended to have input in this, that means it won't work. It may not even resist fire, it may not resist thermal energy, it may resist seismic action. It can happen. But if you input, if you supply all values, all you can say properties into that structure, it will perform very well. Very well. That's what I'm saying. Quality applies everywhere. It's not quality of material I'm talking quality of performance. Quality of performance. It's not just performance. I'm not here to measure performance. I will never measure performance if performance does not have quality. When I talk to people, you are saying we are complying with quality system. Okay, I am happy you are performing, but show me some of your references. Once I asked someone, he was claiming very much about safety. We are doing everything in safety. I say, okay, first you show me, forget safety, first you show me your daily report. How you are performing daily report, how you are recording that. It was incomplete in fact. They could not explain to me what was quality-wise required. You see, when you write some report daily, even it is small site or big site, doesn't matter. You are not doing for your memory. You are doing your purpose record, so that in future if there is something, somebody comes and reads that, studies that, tries to know what happened, there should be speaking report. I am not saying you write essays on that, but at least you have to fill up all data which happen on site. If this report cannot tell me what happened on that day, who visited your site on that day, what was temperature of weather, what material arrived on your site, what otherwise you can say how many people were available, what machines were there, what activities you did, what activities you completed, such information should be available. As much information, as much I can say, which is required, which has to respond, that must be available on that report. One safety manager came to me and asked me, okay, show me something about safety. He gave me a file and told me I do this. Okay, fine. Where is the procedure? There was no procedure. Why did you design? No, we are doing all this. But where is procedure? Where is safety plan? Same way, where is quality plan? I am saying quality plan, not quality control plan. Don't mind it. I'm not saying safety control, I'm saying safety plan. Controls are different. Controls are discipline wise, but plans are not discipline wise. Plans are plans, gross plans, directive plans, suggestive plan. I'm talking about that. It's something different. I don't confine myself to the quality system of ISO 9001 or Sigma. I'm not bound by that. I have to use that. There's a difference. Using and mandatory binding are different. I can do better than that. That's what quality system is. Which quality system says don't do better? Every system says improve. So maybe I can do better than what is demanded by quality system. Why not to do that? And that difference of demanded by quality system to that you achieve is called value. Means I have to add value to that system, so that after adding many values, that system is revised itself and they refine that system, which happened. If you say ISO 9001 2008 and see difference in 2015, there's a lot different. It depends on experience, it depends on learning. That's what is required. So designs are always intellectuals work, and every intellectual is different, but objective is same. Unit of frame, unit of building structure performs. I'm not talking of separately beams and columns and foundations and all. No. It's building. I give an example. It's, for example, some stool in your home, wooden stool or some of the stool which have 4 legs and one's very slab on top and 4 small columns. They're tied together and you call it stool in general. Though it's very small, you can sit on that, you can stand on that. It doesn't fall. Though you may be 50 kilo, 80 kilo, 100 kilo, but you can stand on that. Of course, if you stand in the corner of that, you will fall. But when you stand well balanced, transferring your load equally distributed or uniformly distributed on that slab of stool, you will never fall. That's what is design. I consider whole building as a stool or table. No, I think there's nothing wrong with that. If you consider a building as small table or small stool, I think easy to understand what design is. If we consider that way, that its legs are embedded in crust or surface, or you can say 1 meter down, 2 meters down, and we assume that it will work. It works. This means it's so simple to understand, but so difficult sometimes. We do it, and that's where quality lies in. Means we have to understand, but we should not forget that this building which I'm talking of, or the structure I'm talking of, this rests on certain soil. This rests on certain soil, and that soil corroborates, that soil contributes to permanent performance of that structure, and that soil is very important part of building or structure or whatever structures, not only building, whatever structure you consider in your life, in whole world, all depend on soil. And that soil, which is considered, downtrodden, that is most important material, not our produced material, but naturally, finally produced material, that is very much important in designs and construction. And if you do not know about that material, which is so important in its existence and its performance, I can say my design is incomplete, I could not understand, I could not establish relations between that soil, very innovative soil, very expensive material, very costly material, costly not in terms of finance, but in terms of use, and my structure. Something different exists. I have to understand both my structure and soil. Oh, there may be different degrees for them. I don't care. My degree is thinking. I am Bachelor of Thinking, Master of Thinking, Doctor of Thinking. You don't need any degree for thinking. It's free. There's no admission for that. You admit yourself. You are dean of that. You are college in charge of that. It's your institution in your body, in your mind. Institution of thinking. Can you believe it? I believe it. University of thinking. Thinking is limitless. Your quality depends on your thinking. Everybody's quality depends on thinking, and thinking is process for development. Thinking leads to contemplation. Contemplation leads to, you can say, generation of something. Generation of technique, generation of theory, generation of formula, or generation of application. That application constitutes engineering, and that engineering means intelligentsia world of intellectualism, real intellectualism. That intellectualism which doesn't lead to imagination or hypothetical, but to reality of products. Those products which you can deliver for some certain performance of certain objective fulfillment, that is based on that application of engineering. So thinking is very much part of life. We can't deny that. Construction is very wide, worldwide. There is no limit to this, just like there is no limit to designs. There is no limit to construction as well. But we have to remember the final product is through construction, not through design. Through design, there is intermediate product which is converted to physical product, physical use product, and that process is called construction. Construction means ultimate client. Construction, I am not talking of honor, I am talking of construction as client. Design as client, construction as client. My client is design and construction. Design is not final, construction is not final. Construction requires something else, of course, which design cannot give. Design can give shape, it can give detailing, it can give you specifications, but prosecution of all these parameters, all these subdisciplines, applications of them, implementations of all these requirements is held by construction. Don't take construction what you think about. It's construction. Construction corroborates your design. Construction speaks what you design is right. Construction has its own designs, which a designer has nothing to do. Construction has its own experience. Construction is far different than, you can say imaginations in design. Of course, design is basis for construction, but processes of construction do not relate to designs. That's the difference. Some people spend their whole life in construction, and some engineers spend their whole life in designs. Both are different, but I should say both should be complementary. If they are not complementary, they are not professionals. Complement in a sense, I'm not saying you go and congratulate each other, but stand together. Stand together, work together, which I say in our professional language, professional term, coordination. When I say coordination, there should be no inferiority to each other. There is no superiority to each other. It's work to be done. That's it. Coordination means stand together with each other and perform. There can be sequence in performing. It doesn't matter everybody has to perform same time. So that construction requires all disciplinary engineers into its domain, but in different stages. All activities must be taken care of, but it doesn't happen in reality, which means there is something wrong there. If we cannot move together, why we cannot move together? Either we are ignorant of something or we don't want to respect construction. Construction has similar process like design. It's design of doing activities. It's not design of activities, but design of doing activities. How to do something. And that how to do something also involves how to provide quality to what we do. And that quality, which is called quality control as well, below quality system of construction, that construction should be quality based. Should be quality based in each and every respect. That is called standard construction, which is based on certain assumed and derived or defined procedures based on experience, based on reality, based on communication and coordination. Those operational processes of activities as well as subdisciplines or disciplines are directed by certain written statements, preferably, and which we call method statement, and which is a must. It may be in your mind complete what to do, but you have to stand there all the time to tell what you have to do. No, that's not a good system. This means whatever you have in mind, duly coordinated, should come on piece of paper, and that paper must be given to those who are responsible for carrying out those items. Method statement is a big issue. Some people even don't understand what is method statement. That's why quality problem lies in. I know this, I have done this, people say. Oh no, I have done this, I'll do this. You have done this, that's very fine. You shall do it, that's also very fine. But you are not alone, that's not fine. You are not alone. There are many people like you. Those people should know what you are doing, what you are going to do. What you are going to do, they should know, because they are also stakeholders like you. They are also responsible like you. That point we have to understand. And we have already discussed this time, cost and all that, reliability, risk, etc. And what I have spoken so far is, that is analysis, and also that is reliability. I will define what's reliability. And there are so many issues in addition to 3 issues, and these 3 prime issues are safety, serviceability, durability, which we have talked of indirectly. Certain elaborations given indirectly about safety, about service, about durability, and other applicable knowledge areas, whatever are they. And those can be based on human resources, those can be based on equipment resources and performance resources. And you can say unlimited explanation can be given for that. Analysis is, you can say, formula actually. You may consider formula analysis. Though it's not formula, just to understand I'm saying, it's a complete process, it's complete technology. Whatever technological body you are in, means analysis is done everywhere. If you are not able to do analysis, for sure you will suffer. Not now, later on. Doing no analysis can kill yourself mentally. Not doing analysis you can say you can't perform to do something. So analysis, which is a root of engineering, which is root of structures, must be careful. Analysis is not, I cannot say that all time it's mathematics. No, it's not necessary. Analysis can be done in each term, every term, mathematical term, not mathematical term, or you can say precise term, or experience term, or you can say indicative term, whatever term you can apply, mathematics can be done. And that's also analysis. For example, I'm talking to you about this. You can analyze my talk, what he's talking, what is thought, is he right or wrong? Yes, you have every right to analyze. Maybe I'm wrong. After all, analysis is engineering basis. Engineering basis. If you don't understand, analysis is not material analysis alone, it is process analysis. It's, study of everything. Analytical study. Analytical study of difficulties resolution means if I got some difficulty, some problem, then we have to think on that problem. What this problem is, how did it come to us? Where did it start? Where solution lies in? And where option lies in? And we can finalize, say, this is result of analysis. And there could be many such results of each analysis, because we have to do many analysis for something. And those are, you can say, assembled together, and you can say this is method, this is statement. Compatibility is also a very important part in this world, because if something is not contemplable, something is not, you can say, contemplable, then we cannot do anything. Compatibility means there are two disciplines, for example, or sub-disciplines, for example. They should work together if they are linked to each other. If they are linked to each other, I'm saying. Whole unit, whole, you can say system, for example, engine or train, they can work together. If they don't work together, they derail. Right? If I think something, it should be comprehensively done. If I think, no, only small item, this whole machine, I think only for this, I can't say that's right. Means I have to take responsibility of whole system, whole performance. Just like I'm healthy, doctor certifies you are fit. Yes, fit for what? Fit to do some task. You have that much capability, energy health-wise, that you can comfortably do that job. That's what analysis is done this way. These points are very important. We have to understand. These can't be explained in one go. Compatibility means maybe somebody is civil engineer by qualification, by academics, but that person is not interested in civil engineering. This means that person can never be good civil engineers. That person can never like it, and thereby that person can never coordinate, can never be happy. Under compulsion, that person is there in that discipline. That's why I say, do not measure education in terms of money. But this happens. People weigh money these days. Money to knowledge. Of course, money is one part, but you can't claim that whole part. Well, we go to them. Again, as far as I was advocating about thinking, that it is an only way which also supports contemplation, which must be achieved, and application must be affected, which is equal to plus engineering means more and more applications, more and more modification, more and more amendments, and engineers engineering improves more and more. And there's no end. Non-conformance is very dangerous. Yes, it is dangerous. Means you are not going to do work according to its specific requirement. And that's called non-conformance, which is very dangerous. It's unhealthy because non-conformance product is called substandard and therefore rejected. And also, non-conformance means that engineer is either careless or ignorant or fake one. That can be said like that. So point is what we understand about quality required everywhere. That's most important point. Maybe you feel bored by my talk of quality, but don't forget that you have to understand that. That is very much important part. Now, health, safety, environment. You can't run away from this. If you run away from this, means you run away from every material, every value. Without health, without safety, without environment, we cannot survive. There are changes everywhere, and that changes have been done by ourselves. We have not produced something better. We have not changed to good but to bad. I am not saying that we are behind money. Money is one part of life, but not every part of life. COVID-19 impact is not welcome, but it is coming. It is coming. We can't hold it. It's beyond our control. I just read one news about our country till yesterday. That was, I think, May 18th, 2021. That's about 1,018 doctors we have lost. We are lost in our country due to COVID-19 impact. This means we are not ready, just like whole world is not ready. Ultimately, what's required? Health is required, safety is required, environment is required. And if these are not available, we can't exist, we can't survive. If I'm not healthy, how long can I survive? Just think on that. Construction workers are very critical. Very critical. Means their handling is not so easy. They are well experienced. They know everything. But even then, they need some feedback. Maybe they are emotional in working, but they may be emotional. I'm not emotional. Engineer is never emotional. If engineer is emotional, engineer can never succeed. Because engineering is a cruel activity. Cruel in the sense that we have to extract work from those who want to take rest. Means work doesn't carry pride. It does carry stresses and strains. It doesn't carry happiness. And if you feel happiness in work, I think there is no end. You are best person in that. How to recognize frontline teams in such a situation of COVID-19 so that all workers remain safe? That's question mark. All workers remain safe. That's the requirement. I am also a worker. If I am not safe, how can I work? Nobody can work. That's also a part of requirement you have to think of. If I am not safe, I cannot work safe. That is what life is. So we have to think from various angles, from various aspects, quality and quantity as well as procedures. We have to think that way. I usually think of that we have different teams. We have different teams in construction. Every activity has different types of teams. People work separate, individually as well as in groups, and groups are very important. Workers groups are very important to do activities, various activities, and once you are in activity mode, you forget everything. You see, you got my point. If I am in activity mode on site, working in trench or outside trench, working on whatever level, when I am in mood of working, I mean to say, when worker is in working mode, in that mode, thinking goes beyond. Heart says, that's I have to finish this. And these people, they cannot keep all points in mind while working. Even those who are not working, they don't keep points in mind. For example, wearing masks, nobody cares. I think half public don't care about that, and half may care. It depends. Why I am saying this? Our workers work physically, you can say 90%. They cannot contemplate that they should be safe. Even if there is no COVID, I have seen workers avoiding use of helmet or safety hat, avoiding use of safety shoes due to certain reasons, and avoiding use of overalls. This happens. When you talk to them, they will give you any explanation, any excuse, whatever they give you. You may accept that also, but ultimately, safety is at stake. Safety is at risk. Yes, you may heat up, you may have headache during by use of your hard hat you are not using. You are putting yourself to risk. Why do you want to put yourself to risk? That's my question. Are you so cheap that this activity of 10 hours is more important, more expensive than your life? That point is very important. Why do you want to lose your life? Because of your anxiety. That's my point. If you have to rearrange your activities crews, you have to. There are so many activities which are done in different way. Of course, mechanized is something else, but you still need people, still need workforce on site. They talk to each other. They can't stay without talks. They have to work in a little entertaining way so that they don't feel tired. You can't avoid that. And on site they talk face to face, mouth to mouth. And they eat also on site. Means they are mixed up. Can you stop them? But you have to stop them. How? That is question mark. How to stop them? As usually I say, it is responsibility of entire engineering professional community to contemplate on site working issues that would be impacted upon due to additional protective measures, requirements to keep off COVID-19 contractions onto workers. Many activities are critical in a sense, which do not maintain social working. Social working, you can say, distances as well as cause inconvenience. Wearing all PPEs full time. This happens. You can go and see. This happens. This happens very well. Today is COVID-19. It may not be after some time, but something else would come. It's very common that we have to keep together healthy. It may be virus, may not be virus, but we have to keep ourselves healthy. That conduct, how to achieve it, must be thought of. And all such activities must be analyzed and thought of to resort to safe actions. Means, how should we act on those activities to perform that these do not cause any problem, and also modesty is made, means keep distance, wear mask. Mask is better to be worn by these workers even if there is no virus, because dust protection, you have to protect yourself from dust, you have to protect yourself from heat, you have to protect yourself from humidity, and you have to protect as much as possible. Ultimately, it's your body. Of course, output may be affected on such activities, but health of workers amounts more than activity. If we are not healthy due to work, it's not good statement. Workers must be allowed additional rest pauses to maintain physical equilibrium, keeping abreast COVID-19 or no COVID-19 impact in combination with high temperatures with variation humidity. Already there are safety rules, OSHA rules and other rules are common sense. If I subject myself to temperature of 40 degrees Celsius or more, humidity 50, 60, 70, 80%, dust, of course, sometimes dust storms, then humidity will break, but whatever adversities is, it is. In that case, mask also helps, glasses also help. If I avoid dust smelling, dust contents to my body, mask can help. If I want to avoid impact of sun rays on my eyes, solar glasses can help. These are what I say. Reduce your body to be infected by non-living virus as well, because that can accumulate to some kind of stone in your body. These are various points. Means workers must be safe if you want construction safe, construction potent and durable. And if you say no, then no is no. We have so many problems due to COVID in our country. And I say many heavy construction activities may require forced ventilation or other inputs for workers, which engineers have to contemplate. When I am saying forced ventilation, what does it mean? It means that if work is done in certain covered area and there is no proper ventilation, no proper supply of air or exile or extract, or you can say return of air from that portion, you will see suffocation there. That suffocation is the accumulation of carbon dioxide, and that has to go. But because it is confined area, there is no air passage in this, or it's a big one and we can't place all entries everywhere. Important point is, many heavy construction activities may require forced ventilation or other inputs for workers which engineer have to contemplate. Means we have to provide some machine so that wind is circulated in working area which is closed. And also, otherwise when you are working outside, then you have to face the sun, you have to encounter with heat applications, thermodynamics applications. Where do you work? You have to do it. That you have to understand how to do that. I'm not going to talk more on this. We have to just see safety of ourselves, safety of our people. That's our religious duty. Religious means not religion what you understand, but engineering religion duty. And we have to make sure that our workers are not imposed on, or they do not waste their energies. They use their energies and they should feel happy by working, not like a prisoner that I have to work this, not like that. We have to analyze each and every activity very well, and that's where engineering lies in. Engineering is very, very different world. Without engineering, nothing can be done, and without reality, engineering cannot be done. There should be facts only, and you cannot deny, you cannot cheat. You cannot cheat yourself. You cannot cheat engineering. Engineering is engineering. It may be based on whatever fuel, means it should be perfectly done. Even if on is done, that is rusting. And that's very important requirement. I will continue talking on safety. There are so many safety involvements and so many issues related to that. Quality requirement, which is also a very important part of safety, and we cannot go without that. I talked yesterday or before yesterday also, I think, I don't exactly remember, but doesn't matter when I talked about this, and it must be supported by something. And what is that support? That's point of view. When we say that safety procedures, we talk of systems, and we talk of lessons learned. So much is there. We talk of, I am trying to find lessons learned construction coordination. Lessons learned file it is, and I'm talking of that. And also I'll talk of lessons learned in which file it is. Let me see, where is this? I think it's the safety, maybe in safety again. Let me see, lessons learned. Yeah. Where is this? Hold on, please. General records, management documents, lessons learned. Okay, management documents. So you go back, and this is lessons. Yes, I got it. This was lessons coordination, then lessons learned safety, and lessons learned. What's that? Let's see. Just a minute, let me just I do all this file. Then it's a very small file. Let me open this and see what can we say about this. also, I think. Okay. Has that yesterday I was talking about this. Yesterday I talked about this, means here what I say. Well, this is just safety first is there, and there is another lessons learned. Let's go to safety first. Safety lessons learned, safety first, and learns. Safety first, let's say, was something done so around on 2210. In this case, we say safety first here. It's been noticed that there's no provision in this organization to evaluate this. I'm giving something about some organization which I observed, and I should not observe that, but it happened. It's been noticed that there's no provision in this organization to evaluate performance of overall projects. It requires, according to provisions of QA system, that all records should be made as far as commitment, mistakes, remedial actions, and lessons to be learned are concerned. In case of human beings, those who work do make mistakes. Those who do not work do not make mistakes. This is also true. Now, on projects where hundreds heads work, mistakes are imminent, but within certain acceptable limits. On projects where hundreds work together, mistakes are imminent, but within such acceptable limits. I can say errors due to human involvement are reasonable, but errors caused by either malafide or by bad intentions are not acceptable. I call intentional making of mistakes as sabotage to work. It is a criminal action, in fact. It's a crime to find ways to stop progress of work. Another root of making mistakes is to keep on delaying whatever required action that can also lead to cumulative mistakes by others who may not coordinate rightly. That inaction cannot be permitted. Those companies or organizations which care about their personal working errors and chart out their remedial actions by not allowing repetition of those errors do proliferate in their professional business. But working management of some companies seem different. Initiate about mistakes and lessons learned by this simple record statement that can be utilized for implementation in future. Safety, let us say, safety should be considered. Safety should be considered as first step in relation to care for safety for self and safety for all. Safety for self and safety for all. I remember one incident when I was a project leader in Qatar, Doha, when project safety officer stopped me entering first time into hard hat designated area. I had to first put on my hard hat and only then he allowed me enter. I liked and regarded that safety officer. In some company, safety environment is so polluted that even very senior managers or leaders do not respect such protective equipment use. It may look hard-hitting statement, but it is a statement of fact. I've been annoyed that even after issuing safety hard hats to engineers, foremen, they do not like to use this equipment on visit of, of Honorable Minister. 70 hard hats were issued to workers, but all those workers returned hats to store after visit. After visit was complete, minister's visit was complete. I was surprised to see them on site without hats. Leaders should lead their followers, but it doesn't happen somewhere. Safety is not even considered at last, just to reverse safety first slogan. One worker's head was injured, and two workers were electrically circuited by shock, but no one cares. I don't understand such non-commitment to safety of personal body. I have seen issued various circulars, certain statements explained to staff and others in person, but ears of all do not listen to such lessons or talks. I instructed all site engineers to form and foremen to conduct toolbox talks to their workers, but never realized all have to contribute to safety requirements. Strange is it not that we are ready to take injured to hospital, pay medical bills and risk lives, but we are not ready to take protective measures. Really unbelievable culture in which we work. I cannot blame top management or leadership as they are ready to invest money on these personal protective equipments, but all those members on site who do not care about their families and themselves. I do not understand either whether they achieve special additional progress output by not using PPEs. All complain about non-availability of safety shoes but do not use hard hats that are available. They are ready to accept tolls, they accept falls from heights or receive stone or block impact on heads but not to care about safety. I'll be back with this. Meanwhile, I should say you can Okay, sorry gentlemen, some time was taken because of some reason. So I say now we continue our talk of lessons learned. And management has to provide safety officer on urgent basis. You can say they are ready to accept falls from heights or receive stone or block impact on heights, but not to care about safety. And company has to provide a safety officer on an urgent basis so that safety lessons are delivered to all by training them about meaning and requirement of safety management or leadership. This is very important issue to reach them so all educated and uneducated both learn. We have to reach zero accident status, as there is no meaning to work with accepting accidents. I also see many members wearing loose dresses while working on site. That's also against safety norms. It can also cause accidents that practice has to stop. During working hours, codes have to be established to maintain a good working environment. It should be applicable to all staff as well as physical workers. During lunch hour one day, one worker was shocked by electric current in his room as some live wire touched steel bed. He was sent to medical center using personal car of some engineer. Such accidents are prone to repetition until all are aware of safety norms. Are prone to repetition. All must learn lessons by such bad happenings on site. Had that day, the workers were given many head stitches, one hard hat. We could prevent injury. Thanks Almighty that escaped death, and thanks Almighty also that other elected injured workers too escape that line. You can see then in lessons learned we talked about in planning and coordination something very important, that it has been noticed during execution of works and various related activities that engineering coordination has made a question mark both in designs and planning as well as at site actual execution. It should be remembered that without proper consistency of coordination, buildings activities cannot be properly performed. Many interfaces exist on buildings, various activities that should be satisfied with mutually to lead works without requirement of reworks. And that's part of lessons learned, I'm telling you, because it happened in some site that many reworks were done without an intelligent application of coordination and ongoing activity of external drainage gives evidence proclaiming an extent of low degree of design, planning and coordination that our project has slumped to. It was claimed by concerned engineer and manager that system has been proficiently designed and work can be carried out, but during carrying out works physically, mistakes in design and planning erupted automatically, leading to stoppage to work. Such state of engineering cannot be entitled discipline system engineering, and certainly requires high degree of modification on working approach. It was noticed that certain manhole was excavated on correct location incorrect location without taking into consideration basement discharge by mechanical and civil coordination lacked drastically, resulting in widening excavation scope to cover actual area of required portion. Similarly, some line was over excavated and later backfilled to make up factual levels. Moreover, excavations were done without final design availability. By that unplanned activity, what has been gained is not clear to us. No technical and expertise considerations were made while talking while taking up office engineering proposals. Even during execution, a hint was given about excessive depth of excavation in some stretch, but it was overlooked by both design as well as construction engineers responsible. Result is that drainage system is to be rerouted in alignments and inverts. For realignment also, concerned engineers did not look serious for revision of system. Full week holidays are availed while performance of drainage system has stopped from being carried out. When shall our engineers learn to be serious as far as works are concerned? Similar observations have been experienced during making submittals respecting working shop drawings, shop designs, on which lack of coordination exists. Many drawings are commented back to be revised and resubmitted due to fact that proper scrutiny is not done, and many comments are either not fully incorporated or channels are opened for inviting new comments. We just spent depend on what consultants commented on, but do not have capacity to foresee errors. What should be done to avoid problems during performance of activities? One example refers to proposal for chiller unit pumps. That technical literature was received from vendor with basic technical errors, while vendor was not fully made aware of requirements that resulted in delayed decision on submission. All parameters were not rotary equipments are to be installed in single area, which means that it's a critical installation and therefore should be dealt with